what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Voices from the Mausoleum, and welcome to our live launch for our new anthology, This House Is Not Ours.
Oh,
It's release day.
Yay!
it is.
Happy release day.
Happy release day. For anybody who knows us, we have worked on everything I have touched together in some manner of speaking. But this is our first official title under our pub name, which is Voices Publishing. It's not that original. It's the channel name. Oh, thanks, Mike.
What?
Coming by. Thank you
What's
so
up, buddy?
much. Yeah, this is I want to try to do these when we have releases if time permits, but yeah, so we're here to talk mostly about this, and then towards the end we've got some exciting information we just wanted to chat about the pub and kind of what our plans are for it and so on and so forth. I don't think either of you need introductions, but of course we have Tasha and Kat, neither of which are strangers to anything that I do. Voices, like books, social media. Everybody should know who you guys are. But yeah, so we this I'm going to give you this very short version of where this anthology even came from because I originally so the cover is done by Matt Seth Barnes. This is the first cover he's done for me for something that's published. I have a couple of his covers, but they're not on anything that's published yet. I don't think. I think everything has either been me or Christy so far. But originally I had commissioned something I wanted like this with this kind of dollhouse thing going on. I originally wanted something like this for my collection that has been out for almost 2 years now, um, which is bananas. And what the fuck? So anyway, um, also this is going to be a very chill conversation. It's been a long week. It's Friday. We're coasting. We're coasting on caffeine and good vibes. Okay. So I had
On
originally
alcohol.
commissioned. Okay, I just have cherry Coke, but it's like my only
Just
addiction.
pretend.
Sometimes I don't need it. You'd be wondering. So I had originally commissioned this cover for that. However, sometimes things change. Something else called to me, and I was like, okay, well, I've got this cool cover. I need to do something with it. Let's do Haunted House Anthology. And then I had to go through all this drama to move last year, and I realized very quickly just how much of a housing crisis we are in this country. And I thought, well, do charity anthology, and it could go to something related to houses. And so that's how This House Is Not Ours came to be. I think the title is pretty giving as far as like where my thought process was with some of this. But I'll just read you the back really quick. I always struggle to read through this stupid gray banner they put on this, but I'll get there. Enter at your own risk. From crumbling manors and mysterious family archives to creature features, this anthology dares to reimagine the haunted house in all its terrifying forms. Featuring a diverse collection of stories from both seasoned and emerging voices in horror. Voices has to be in like everything, you'll notice that. Each tale explores what it really means to fight for a home that just isn't yours to have. All proceeds for this anthology go to the Lotus House, a place whose mission is to improve the life of women and children experiencing homelessness by providing sanctuary and support. Of all the things we have to worry about, having a home should never be one of them. And so yeah, so this was it's the cover. I will tell you, the cover's very dark right here. It looks so much cooler in person. And I mean, not that I don't think it looks
Yeah.
cool, but in person, it looks even cooler because you can see all the little details and stuff. But anyway, so this is our charity anthology for This House Is Not Ours. I did what I normally do, and I reached out to authors to see if they wanted to send video clips or a little note or something. I think everybody is just slammed in life, so I did only get one person that sent me something. So we'll read that at some point. And I don't. Yeah, I mean, what did you guys think of some of these stories? So Tasha's editing. Tasha edited this.
I mean,
Jesus, maybe
it's
there is
either
something
way
in
is
this.
valid.
I don't know. Fuck. Okay, anyway, Tasha edited, of course, and our wonderful Cat did the beautiful formatting. I love that you do this. This is such a great little way to incorporate like the image and just to give you some glimpses of what the inside looked like, contents. But so what did you guys think of what did you think of some of these stories as you're going through them?
So I haven't read most of them yet. I usually do read through when I format anthologies, but I've been having like some screen related migraine issues. So
Oh, no.
I read one. I was like, I'll read one to like test
That's
through
okay.
and
Yeah.
make sure that like because you always have to read at least one to make sure that the program's not doing anything weird. But I
Bless you.
liked the one that I read.
Yeah.
Um, I don't have a copy of the book in front of me, so I can't be like, here's all the information. But it
That's
was
okay.
Tom's. I read Tom's, and
Oh,
it was
a tall,
fantastic.
thin house was
Talton
Tom's.
House.
Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. So Tom has been in our other stuff too. Was he in the zombie one? I can't remember, but I know
He
Tom has
was,
been.
yeah.
Yeah, Tom has been in other Voices anthologies. Um, that's a perfect segue. Tom is the one who sent something in, so that's a perfect segue. I'll go ahead and read
Perfect.
his little note that he sent. Um, A tall, thin house originated in a horror writing class in a segment on haunted houses. We were assigned to write one story about the house and another about the haunting. Oh, that's interesting. I eventually merged those stories to create the finished product shifting points of view and timeline. The house itself is inspired by the many slender row homes that populated the town where I grew up. Some elements of the interior are inspired by my grandparents' old place, though Gertrude and Earl are original creations. Okay, cool.
No.
I know the type of houses he's talking about too, like where they're all like in a row. They almost look like townhouses, but they don't connect all the way. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know exactly what he's
They're,
talking about.
I don't know
What
why.
about you,
Those
Tasha?
boys kind of creep me. Those boys creep me out.
They
Um,
they do have a very daunting nature. Yeah, I agree with that
it,
for sure.
it is. It's so weird. I was trying to find my list where I documented so I could have. I'm terrible at story names.
You're cool.
Um,
It's hard.
but the
Well,
one.
yeah.
What?
And I'm agreeing with you. Yeah, because not only are you
Oh,
doing the stories in here, but you're doing your other jobs too. So it's not just, it's not
yeah.
just
I
this
have.
this one single thing and nothing else, right? Your brain is just constantly like taking in
Yeah,
stuff.
I think I've got 7 different editing projects that I'm working on right
Yeah, that's
now.
kind of my point. It's
Um,
hard to be like, oh yeah.
I know. And
Um,
I have to almost like brain dump when I finish ones now and just move on to the
I
next one.
I
But
get
the
that.
one that has continuously stuck out to me is Wisteria, I think. Is that
Yes.
in the name?
Yes.
Where
Hold on, I
the
got it.
house that only shows up for certain people and then it just kind of like
114
takes over.
Wisteria Drive by Emma
Yes.
Darcy. Yeah.
Yes. I love that one. The idea that it just kind of like takes over her life and from her own home as
Yeah.
opposed to just being in the location that the haunted
Yeah,
house
that's a
is
cool one.
at. I thought that was a really cool twist.
Yeah.
Usually
No,
it's
that was
like
cool.
a house originally haunted. Um,
Right. Yeah.
and
Hi,
with this
Tara.
one,
How are you, lovely?
the way it
Yeah.
kind of infected everything else was, I like that.
Yeah.
I appreciated that.
Yeah, yeah. I felt like so as with all of our anthologies we've ever done, I always want them to be like really outside the box things. You know what I mean? And so I feel like once again, because I say this every time we do these, once again, I think that was accomplished. I think there's some more atypical type stories where it's like things that you might have seen before or inspired by things we've seen before. But there's also either twist involved or there's stories in here that are just really just completely different than anything
Yeah.
that I've seen. I believe and I really need to start keeping a list of this and I intend to eventually when I get my shit together. But I'm pretty sure this one also has one maybe two never published before authors. Which is always like bonus points for me. Um
Yeah.
and so yeah, I think it's another one where we were able to put together something that is a very different take on a very common trope, which is good because when we did the haunted house lives, we were talking about haunted houses live. we were talking about how hard it is to like make it different, make it unique, change it,
Yeah.
switch it up because it's been the same shit for a million years. So, um,
Right.
but I think we were able to accomplish that with this. I feel like this is a good one.
I'd
Um,
say so. Oh, Radar's story too. I mean, I'm biased because I love Radar, but
the
uh,
true heart of the house.
I
Yeah,
enjoyed his. Yeah,
yeah. That's because Radar always writes weird shit, and I like weird stuff.
he
Like
does. I
everything
don't.
he writes is weird. I love it. Yeah.
I hope this isn't a spoiler. Like, I'm not going to go into details, but
Okay.
I'm working on a collection
Oh
for him
yes,
right now,
yes.
and the number of times that in my head I'm like, "What the fuck, Radar? Like, where did this come from?" I'll message him and be like,
I
"Dude, come
know.
on! Like, what
I
are you
know.
smoking?" I need some.
And it's crazy to read the stuff that he's putting out now because the first couple things I read by Radar were sci-fi horror,
Yeah,
and now he's doing like grief horror and just like it's wild. I love it. It's such a
all
crazy
over.
thing to think about, like where what I started reading versus like what we're reading and getting from him now. Kat, you have a story in here. Do you want to talk about where that came from?
Oh, yeah, a fun, wholesome story for
Kat
everybody.
Kat is also an author.
I am.
Do you
I
want to talk
also,
just,
Anybody who doesn't know that is missing out hardcore already.
bro, that for sure. Yeah, the house on West Elm.
yes. This is semi inspired by a true story. I went through I had an undiagnosed nervous breakdown toward the end of lockdown and almost bought a house randomly. Um, and I'm glad that I didn't,
Yeah.
mostly, but I miss the house. It's weird. I have like this love-hate relationship with the house because it's like on the
Yeah.
one hand, obviously, biggest mistake that I almost made in my entire life was just
Yeah.
like buying down this like run down fixer upper, like I could not have handled that, and I don't
Yeah.
really like Ohio. So like
I was gonna say,
it would have
especially
really
in
locked me
Ohio.
in.
Yeah.
But like I missed the house a lot. And
Yeah.
when you invited me to the anthology, it was like I happened to have a house in mind that I thought about a lot. And it was like
Yeah.
you invited me right around the time that I found out that they tore down the house. Like
See,
nobody
I
did
didn't
fix
know
it
any
up.
of this. I didn't know any of this.
Like
Weird.
so it was kind of like a cathartic experience for me where it was like
Yeah.
someday, like if I make it, I'm going to probably really regret not getting that house. But like
Oh.
on the other hand, it was the smart call for me. Where I think it
Yeah.
was less of a smart call for the main character. Like she should have bought the
She
house.
should have bought the house. Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
Justin says who voluntarily moves to Ohio. Ohio is for lovers,
well,
Justin.
I did not
No, that's
voluntarily move
Virginia,
to
isn't it?
Ohio.
Isn't
I
that
was
Virginia?
dragged.
It's a Hawthorne.
I
It's a
think
Hawthorne
so.
Heights song. I don't know. It's a Hawthorne Heights song.
Oh,
It's a lyric from a song, or it's the title of a song.
I
Cause
mean,
my
duh, I
heart
knew
is
that,
in
obviously.
Ohio. No, look, I
Yeah.
never grew out of my emo phase. I still listen to them on the reg. So that's cool. I
Yeah.
didn't know any of that stuff when you and by invited, it's such a pleasant way to say bullied into writing a story
No,
for
I'm
this
always
anthology.
honored. I especially with you, like I'm always honored when anyone invites me into an anthology, but like you read the stuff that I've submitted to your previous anthologies and you keep inviting me.
I love that. See, Mike gets it.
Okay, that's
Hawthorne
fair.
Heights is just
If
I love
Mike
Hawthorne
gets
Heights.
it, then I'll go for it. I
Be careful, Mike. She might give Hawthorne Heights a 7 out of 10. So you got to be careful what you
you
share with
know,
Tasha. Tasha be tripping. Um, yeah, I love. Well, here's a clue for anybody who's ever thinking about submitting stories to us in the future for other calls. I really like weird, and I don't mean like. Don't send me stories that are how do I put this? Because it's on YouTube. That are about like your male fantasies. Keep that out of my inbox. But if you really want to like get bonus points, write some off the wall shit because 9 times out of 10 it's going to be more memorable. It's going to be something that I'm going to be like, oh my god, this was so. One of the there's I think there's a few of these in here, but the one that comes to mind immediately is Click Clack by Fiona Cosgrove. which is Tasha, that's the one about the bugs.
Ugh.
You remember that one, or do you like sort of remember that one? That one was like one of the first stories I read, and it was so bizarre, and I just ate it up. Oh, thanks, Mike. I'm going to talk a little bit more
Wow.
about the charity in just a second. Not a second. It asks Tasha how tired she is of hearing me say that shit. It comes up,
Never. It
it comes up every
never
time.
loses. I know. And
Um,
like randomly,
yeah.
Cat, speaking of Cat like submitting weird stuff or super accurate
Uh-oh.
stuff,
She said,
that was actually
"Uh-oh."
how I started talking to Cat. When she submitted the
Oh,
livestock, I was like,
That's also how I
holy
met Kat.
shit.
yeah.
Yep.
That was
Like your story
Yeah.
just punched me in the
Kat's
face.
yeah,
And
Kat's story was one of my favorites. Yeah. Yep.
thank
it's so
you.
good.
That's
I
why I
was
I
keep
just like,
think
getting
oh
invited.
hey.
I'm glad I still
Bullied.
get invited because of that one. I think this is actually the most normal one that I've written for you guys.
Yeah.
For
I
the
think you know what my favorite one of
so
my favorite submissions while we're on the subject of cats writing. I one of
uh
my favorite ones that you've done was the all the water should be hot. I'm going to butcher it. All the water should be hot in hell.
I think that's right.
Okay. That was so
I don't even know.
it's something like that. I'm close. The words are there.
I think so.
They might just be a little jumbled. But that's one of my favorite ones that you've done. So that's why you keep getting bullied into these situations. I'm like, "Hey, you got a story? Just curious." Um
Wink
but yeah,
wink.
I'm gonna read the table of contents and then I'll talk a little bit more about the the charity. And I'm going to apologize way ahead of time if I butcher your name. I promise I still love and respect you. It is not intentional. I just can't read. All right. So we've got The Black Flower by Katie Brunesk.
Yeah.
Brunecz.
I love that one too.
Okay, so fun fact
I'm
about
gonna
this
do
story,
this
and
with
then
like every
I know you're gonna be like, oh yeah. So okay, so fun fact about this one while we're here, and then I'll finish reading the table of contents. So Katie actually submitted this story, The Black Flower, to the Butterfly Effect, maybe. And so I read it and I was
okay.
like, dang, I was like, I really liked it, but I was like, I don't think it's gonna work for the butterfly. And I started thinking, and I reached out to her and I was like, hey, would you be horribly offended if I said that I don't think it works for the butterfly anthology, but I would really like to have it in the haunted house charity anthology? And she was like, yeah, I'm just glad like you liked it. Like she was really nice about it. And that's how the
Yeah,
black flower ended up on the table of contents, because originally it was submitted to the other one, the other call we had pretty much going on around the same time.
that's
All right.
awesome.
The True Heart of the House by Radar DeBoard. The House of Emotions by Ghastly Jam, by Maximiliano Guzman. Hopefully I didn't butcher that too bad. Finder's Fee by Edward Adhern. The Legend of Abigail Grimdor by Ashley Watson. Thorndale Terror by Lucretia Stanhope. Fragments of a Haunting by the fabulous Sophie Ingley. We love Sophie.
You
Um,
love Sophie.
114 Wisteria Drive by Emma Darcy. The Cold Room by Paul O'Neill. Songbird by Brad Acevedo. Acevedo? I always butcher that one. Brad's in so many of these, and I'm so sorry. I
I know.
just butcher it every time. The House on West Elm by Kat Valor. Adverse Dispossession by J.E. Norwood. Cat Got Your Tongue by Abigail F. Taylor. The Loop House by S.C. Fisher. A Firm Hand by Sarah Connor. Click Clack by Fiona Cosgrove. And A Tall Thin House by Tom Combe. So that's our table of contents. All the Water Should Be Amazing, or a Lana Del Rey song title.
Fall Out Boy, but
Word.
we're
I
on
was
the
thinking
same.
like Panic at the Disco.
Yeah.
When he was still in the emo phase, or like now that he sings like a bunch of other stuff.
Ugh, it's hit or
You know.
miss.
He's so
I mean,
talented though. You can't even be
that
mad. Have
first
y'all heard him
album.
do DuckTales? That's like my favorite video in the whole world. Brandon
What?
Erie. Girl, you gotta watch it. He's got hair. You just
Oh,
gotta watch it. He does DuckTales. It's hilarious. Anyway,
oh my god.
um, so yeah, so the charity that this is going to is the Lotus, I keep calling wanting to say center, which is a different thing. Lotus House for women. So the Lotus House, it's very hard for me not to do, and you guys probably feel the same way. It's very difficult for me. See, yeah, Justin's like, yeah, I got it. Yeah. It's
Yes.
incredible. It's hilarious. I love Brandon Urie. He's awesome. My partner's obsessed with him. We listen to his stuff all the time. He did a really great cover from Frozen 2. He's very talented.
Oh shit.
Um, it's really good. But anyway, so the Lotus House is it's and I was saying I think it's probably the same for y'all as well, but it's really difficult for me to not think about women and children, specifically when we're talking about human related charities, you know. And so I was
Yeah.
trying to find something originally. We were talking about doing something house related, and it was a struggle to find something that I felt was going to go to good use, if that makes sense, in terms of that fit the theme, because there's tons of incredible charities, tons of incredible organizations that try to make the world a better place. But I stumbled upon this one, and there's actually one based in Atlanta where I live, and they're in other places as well, but they are essentially they're like a shelter for women who are either just victims of homelessness for whatever reasons, bad circumstances. They handle a lot of domestic violence cases, and that includes women and children. And it really focuses on not just giving them the essentials that they need, like a home, a place to sleep and clean up and take care of themselves, but it's really loaded with like resources to help them be able to get out of that situation and move on with their life in a more positive and forward way. And so it includes getting helping them with jobs, helping them get back into the community, things like that. And I think we really need that. I mean, domestic violence is, aside from being terrible, it wreaks havoc on our society, and women and children, a majority of the time, are the victims. And so it was a cool thing to see, and reading, like, the what do they call them? Like testimonials, I guess, of like people who have used Lotus House, who have gone there, who've experienced what they have to offer to help. It just really kind of moved me. So that's kind of how we ended up there with the Lotus House. So every all the proceeds for any sales on these books will go straight to them. Whenever Amazon sends it to me. um, but anyway, so it is available on ebook and of course paperback, Avi. Any authors that are watching or watch this after it's posted, I am working on contributor packages. They are always a labor of love. They always take a lot of money out of my pockets, and they always it takes me just some time to get them together. I think we've come up with some really cute ass shit for these. I think you will be very excited when they go out. So I just ask for a little bit of patience while I finish getting all the things together so that I can mail them out. I think it will be worth the wait. So yes, people in the outside world will have it before you, but I promise it'll be worth the wait. And so
Those boxes are always super cute. Like the bathroom one with a little
that's
rubber
the
ducky.
that's
Oh my
all I
god.
want to that's all I want to be known for, you guys, is the fucking contributor boxes. Like, I don't care if I ever make any money off books, except for the charities. I want to make money for the charities. But in terms of, like, I've told Kat this like 100 million times. I'm like, no, that's what I want to be known for. And so I always take the time to try to like make sure, that it's going to be something worth celebrating and being excited about. Um, and so anyway, so I just wanted to give that in case anyone's watching and they're like, where the fuck's my copy? I'm working on it. And while we're on the subject of Amazon and copies, I did want to also say this, because I did have several authors and other people reach out to me about the fact that a lot of people are trying to move away from purchasing from Amazon, which we all more than understand and respect, are and excited to hear. Probably Kat more than anybody else. Kat's very excited about this development in the indie horror community. But the short of it is, we are going to sell them on Amazon for now. I intend to buy some at their wholesale price, or whatever you want to call it. So we will have some that you can buy direct from us. But again, it's going to be a little bit before I have them. So that is in the works, so that people can buy directly from us, so they are not contributing to the Amazon. Unfortunately, with this one, I don't have an alternative for the ebook. So that will still be published through Kindle for now. But anyway, I'll let Kat take it away for the for the Amazon stuff.
Uh, as we move from this specific anthology into kind of Voices Publishing news,
Mhm.
that is one of my big projects coming onto the team. So far, I've been doing formatting. That's that's the thing that I do best. Uh,
Yes.
but I've been working a lot. I've kind of been using my own books as a guinea pig trial and error system for this.
Mhm.
Uh, so we have not rolled it over to Voices stuff yet, but I am really committed to bringing expanded distribution to Voices. Other
Yeah.
than formatting, that's pretty much my top priority
Yeah.
at the press. That's like my job. And
Yeah.
that means that soon we'll be moving to, like, we'll have author copies available that not just, because Amazon takes a pretty low print on demand cost when we buy the author copies and sell them
Right.
off.
Yep.
Uh, I have plans to get that down to zero from using a different printer.
Yeah.
It means different ebook distribution. It means library accessibility. Godless. Everyone knows I'm a big advocate for
Yeah, for
godless.com.
sure.
And it's all stuff that's in the works. I think before you start working on expanded distribution, it's easy to be like, oh, well, why can't you just list at these other places? And the answer is that for a press, it's tax complicated. And
Yeah.
even as not a press, it's very time consuming. So
Yeah.
those are things that are in the works. They're like, I don't even want to say that they're big long term goals for the press because they're pretty immediate goals in terms of getting the ball rolling on that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. But just give us a little bit of time. Like
Yeah.
we're considering it, we're working it. I'm getting it down. I'm getting like a system down. I'm
Yeah.
ironing out all the kinks on my end before I try to roll it out for the press. Because there are things, that it's acceptable to do as a self-publisher that look unprofessional for a press, like when you don't know how to list books, for instance. But
Sure.
it's
Sure.
getting worked on. We're learning. We're
Yeah.
getting there. It's a big thing that we want to move to. So
Yeah, no,
yeah.
it's exciting too because as more and more people are realizing that the options available that are the easier options, it's people are realizing that the options suck and we don't have a lot of them, and so I think it will be good for the community to have, and not just our press, but other presses that are able to do that and kind of move away from that and go in a different direction because yeah, Amazon, aside from other reasons, it takes a lot out of what it gives you, and it's just, yeah, if we can move away from the beast, I think would be really good.
And I'm gonna open this up now as an offer. I don't know if I should be doing this. We didn't discuss this part beforehand. I'm always just
Cat
like
is like, they both just do
I'm
whatever
jump
they want.
scaring people.
They just do
When do we
whatever they want.
plan anything?
I
It just
don't know. It's
happens.
such a waste of time. You guys just come
but
in and you just do whatever you want.
but I'll also make the offer. A big reason why people like Amazon has been kind of shafting authors for a long time. There's been a lot of stuff. It's getting worse this
Yeah,
year and every year. And, a big reason why readers are moving away, though, is because you don't own your digital books through Amazon. And so
right,
I'm just going to go ahead and make the promise. It's a little bit trickier for us because I don't know. Again, I'm a formatter, so like this is common knowledge for me. I don't know like what people out there know.
right.
Kindle books are formatted a little differently than other ebooks. So
Oh,
I'm always
oh yeah.
reluctant to offer like free ebooks because I know that if you're running through an app that's not Kindle, it might look a little bit
It's
wonky. And
yeah,
as a formatter,
it
that's a
does.
concern. But
Yeah,
I
yeah,
always have like print ready PDFs just like on hand. If
yeah.
you've bought a Kindle version and like through Amazon and you want to own a copy, I have no hesitation sending people
Same.
out a
Yeah,
PDF if you give like proof of
yeah,
purchase, or even if you haven't. Like I'm pretty lax. Um,
yeah,
like if
yeah,
you want to promote or support the charity or whatever, and you need a review copy or whatever, reach out to me.
yeah,
I'll get you a PDF.
yeah. Not a big deal. Yeah,
And I'll
yeah,
get you
for
an
sure.
EPUB too. It just might be a little bit wonky because right now, and when we move to expanded distribution, obviously I'll have normal EPUBs as well, but
Right,
that hasn't been a priority until we
right
get
now.
listed. So,
No, for sure. Yeah,
but yeah.
yeah. Um, well, Kat kind of covered what she's like her roles. I don't do anything. I'm just here to hang out with them while they work really hard on these amazing projects. Um, Tasha, you want to talk a little bit about your kind of like what you do? I mean, I think most people know, but I would love to say social media, but Meta keeps giving it to us,
Oh
and so
my God.
Speaking of companies
I
we want to
just,
get away from,
no shit. Dude, and it's
yes,
great because I have a couple of friends who do like social media marketing and stuff like that as like
Yeah.
their livelihood. And I have gone to them and been like, hey, so I'm running into this with Meta. Have you ever experienced that before? And they all say no, but yet none of them are surprised. So
Right.
I feel like that says a lot about the reliability of Meta.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we had created the Facebook and the Instagram, and I made Angel, obviously, an admin. So we connected the accounts, everything looked good, and then Meta decided to have a stroke like
Mhm.
8 times.
So many times.
So it was like, yes, so many times. So it was locking her out, locking me out, and then they just like randomly deleted the
The
account.
account.
Yeah. So, and then it, for whatever reason, they've like taken it out on me and my notifications and like my apps for some reason. So it's in the works. We're trying to get it back because obviously that's the most
Yeah.
helpful
Yeah,
part
and in the
of
meantime,
everything.
I'm just sharing stuff on Voices, which is fine. I mean, it's we'll get there. But I did have a couple people like be like, where did the pub page go?" And I'm like, "Don't get me started,"
It's a good question.
because
If you find it, let
literally,
me know.
I'm like, all I did before we got suspended was try to follow people. So your guess is as good as mine. I don't know.
And
And
that,
I also
and it's
complain
so
about
weird.
Meta.
Please do.
I have a
Please.
bone to pick with them. I haven't been able to sign into
Just
my
one bone.
Facebook for like 3 months. And part of it's on me because Facebook was like, you can't sign in. And I was like, okay. And like gave up. I was like, fuck it, I've got other stuff to do.
Yeah,
But like I
Exactly.
haven't been able to. I
exactly.
have other presses that I work with that have been like trying to message me and they're like emailing me, where are you? And it's like, I don't fucking know. Like, I ask Facebook where I am. Hasn't let me in. I didn't have access to the email that I signed up to it for, and it finally realized that I
Oh
tried to
no.
delete my account like 10 years ago, and I've been trying to
Oh
migrate
my
over.
god.
It's been a whole process, months, right? I clicked the link today. You sent it on Instagram. I clicked the link to this live stream right now. Like I got mad about this coming into the stream. I clicked over on it. It took me through signed in Facebook to get here and was like, "You're leaving Meta. Is that okay?" And it's like, "No, no, 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 no. That's my account." Like what?
Oh my
It's right
god.
there. What are you doing? I
Oh
was so
Jesus.
fucking
Oh
mad.
God.
Yeah.
And like I have
It's
no
been a
idea if
mess.
I'm gonna be able to get back into it when we leave because it took me like through as it clicked
Yeah.
through instead of
Yeah.
letting me sign in. And it's like, God damn it, Meta.
I
Yeah,
just they're on
Justin
crack.
says, "How dare you try to
I don't know what's
promote
happening.
yourselves?" You know, the worst part is
I
we got
know.
up to over 100 followers before it got rid of the stupid page. It's so irritating. Meta's the worst. I was logged into IG on the app and logged in from an outside source. They gave me a warning that they'll block my account.
They won't just block it. They'll delete you. You
They
never
will
existed.
delete it. In my inbox from where I had shared the story or whatever, when you first made it, I like it still just has that invisible person thing, and I'm every time I see it, I get pissed again. I'm like, these motherfuckers. Anyway, but
It's so
continue,
dumb.
Tasha.
But yes, Tasha does
Yeah,
non-meta stuff.
so
Yeah.
yeah, at this point, anything meta I will set on fire. And that is not an actual threat or promise or claim of arson. Just to throw that
Allegedly.
out there since this goes on
Anything
YouTube.
that happens is pure coincidence.
Completely coincidence. Yeah, so eventually, when I figure out what the hell they're doing, those will be back up, and then I edit amazing things,
and
all the
when
stories.
and when Kat will do this too, I'm sure on certain things when she's not actually writing stories for them. But you also, what is it called? Slush reading? What is it called?
Yes.
Is
Oh
that
yeah,
right?
Bush reading.
Slush reading. Such an interesting phrase, that one. Dude, I was in charge of my old podcast socials, and the number of problems Instagram gave me made me want to rip my hair out. Yeah, it's driving us nuts. Well, and
I
it's
did not.
especially irritating because we all have our following or whatever on these, and we're like, okay, it'd be really cool if we could just like, and we can't even get the damn page to
Copy
stay
and
up
paste.
for more than like that would be nice, wouldn't it? Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, it'd be so nice.
But yeah, but slush reading too. You help read through the stories and pick stories for anthologies.
Everyone gets
Heck yeah.
frustrated with me when I do.
When you read the stories,
Yeah.
We made it through Sincerely Departed, and we are
We got
still
there.
friends. We did fine. We did fine. We each had our one story that we were like, I respect you, but this is going in. we both had those separate
That's a
stories. We were like, this one is going in no matter what you say. I just need you to know that. Kat
I feel like
said,
that's
I
a good
can't
way to do
even.
it. Like with
Yeah.
multiples though, to get that
Yes.
perspective and like because we do feel like we all have very different tastes.
Very
Like
different. Very different tastes.
we're kind of
Yes.
all across the board. So we
Yes.
cover
I
like
agree with that.
When I did that for
Every
my
bit of it.
other charity anthology, I was like, here's the number of vetoes we have, here's the number of like fights we're allowed to get into, and everyone
Yeah.
was like, what kind of anthologies are you working on, Kat? It's like, it's
just
not about the
Okay.
anthologies,
deal
it's
with
about
it.
the
It's fine.
stories I want in there.
Yeah. But it's I think we've managed that well though, as far as like picking,
I think
because so
so.
Tasha and I did the ones for That Old House, the kitchen.
Kitchen.
Doing two fucking house things this close together was one of the dumbest things I've ever done, because I'm sitting here like, remember Tasha, I was like, oh, maybe I'll get my story done in time for you when you're editing this one. So, and then I was like, I don't have a story for this one. I have a story for the kitchen one. I don't have it for this house one. I have it for the other. Dumb. Oh my God. Mike said, Angel having different tastes than her team, insert shock face. But anyway, but I think we do pretty well because so Tasha and I went through those, and we had like, we each had our ones that we were just like, no, like love this, and yeah, it's all very different tastes, but I think that's what makes them so good, is because there's that different take on. So you get a very
Oh yeah.
varied mix of stories. So I think that's probably for the best.
There's
Um,
nothing worse than like picking up an anthology and it's hard to tell the difference from story to story. Like
yes,
when you
and I
can't
have
tell them apart.
I've absolutely read
And
anthologies like that.
I feel like that is never an issue with the ones, all the house ones that we've put together, I mean,
None of them.
livestock, all of them.
Yeah. I think every single one. I mean, Kat even stomached being a part of the werewolf one, because she was like, but yeah, to your point, I think it works really, really well. Because I never, I think the best thing about horror, in when you get these creative people, especially in the indie community, where they really come up with just these like crazy things, and like we've talked about before, Kat and I specifically, where it's like, themes can be very difficult, and it's hard sometimes to get people to commit to the theme, even though they know the theme before they submit the story. But I think I feel like I've gotten frustrated with it more than once. I got frustrated with the kitchen, because I'm like, this is not a kitchen story. This is not a kitchen story. But then I get to these stories where they are, and they're so different and they're so good, and I'm like, all right, it was worth the 35 I just read that had nothing to fucking do with the kitchen, and these are this does, and this is good, and I really like it. So, but I think because we all have varied interest, I think it does make for some really interesting collections overall. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it does. Man, there's just almost like with movies when you know that there's so much potential there and they just didn't quite get there.
Bro,
When we
that,
read
yeah,
the stories that are amazing that just don't meet the qualifications, I'm like,
you're like,
oh, why would you
fuck.
put me in this position?
Yeah,
Damn you.
and then sometimes you get really lucky, and Katie writes a story called The Black Flower, and you're like, fuck yeah, I got an anthology I can put this in, even though it don't fit this one like I want it to. But that doesn't happen
Right?
very often, and then you're like, damn it, man. Like, well, and there's been times though, right? Even when we did what the hell's the other one? The Bathroom. Even when we did The Bathroom, there was times where I loved a story, and I would reach out to the author. I'm like, listen, I love this story, but can you please just amp up that it's in this specific room? And people were okay
Yeah.
with that, because obviously I'm not being ugly about it. I love your story, but in order for
Yeah.
it to be involved in this, it has to be 90% in this room, or it doesn't work, and people redid things and it worked, and those were really creative and wild too. So um, anyway, I digress. It works. I started saying that again, Tasha. I wasn't saying that for like a super long time, and now I'm back to saying it like all the time. I digress. Remember that used to be like my catchphrase?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, you
So
do.
if you guys can see this beautiful hand painted sign back here, this and that and that and I've got a bunch of other shit that I think and this is all done by an incredible artist who goes by Frankenfreckle Customs. And so she does, I think she's in the UK. I have bought so many things from her, you guys. Kat has a bauble from her with Kaylee on it. I have one for my dog. She does animal portraits, horror stuff. I mean, anything you can imagine. But she made this for me forever ago, and I've been obsessed with this like Frankenstein zombie font thing. So I
And I have
decided.
that one
Oh,
that I need to figure out where to hang up.
you have one
The
too?
one that
Which
you
one do
had
you have? I
made for
forget.
me. Yeah. You
Oh,
got
yes. Yes, yes,
purple.
yes. That was from
Yeah.
her. Why was I thinking that was from somebody else? Yeah, 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 yeah. So she's very cool and she's very Frankenstein related. So, we're big fans of that, or I'm obviously a very big fan of that. Anyway, so I had her do this font because she posted about having these little wooden things. And so she made for us limited, what is it? Limited
Run?
Edition.
both. We'll go with limited edition run. Okay. So she did, I don't know. So anyway, so she hand painted these little bookmarks for us.
They're so cute. I love
They're
her work.
so
It's just
tiny and
adorable.
little, and I loved them. Anyway, so she did, I think I ordered, I don't remember how many I ordered. Long story short, though, she made us some. They are all hand painted on wooden little bookmarks. And so we all have one, of course, or we'll all have one, of course. Did I send y'all
I
these
was
yet?
gonna say, I do not.
You'll have one at TBR in a few
Mine.
months, or if not, I'll mail it to you. But listen, I'm really behind on the mailing stuff. Anyway, so we will, of course, have one because we're the team. We get perks. And so, but what I want to do with the rest of them is, I'm so glad you like them. Like they're very cool, and they are like she just does incredible stuff. I mean, I just love everything that she's ever done for me has just been. And I have a ghost face one of these and an Audrey too, one of these little coffin things. I'm obsessed. She does great work and she's so fun to work with. I love her energy. But anyway, so these are going to be like limited edition runs of these. And what we're going to do is when we get to the point, because I'm sure these are things people are curious about, when we get to the point where we are ready to take on other people's works, novels, novellas, anthology short story collections, these will go out to the first 8 people that we know. How many of us? 3. 10 minus 3 is not 8, ladies and gents. It's 7. So the first 7 people or so that we sign with or that we get to sign with us will get these with their author copies. It's something that I thought would be kind of a cool little promo special edition thing, because once they're gone, they're gone. I won't have her make any more. At least not like this. Maybe in the future we'll do something else for events or something. But anyway, so I just wanted to show those because they're so fucking cute.
They are.
Anyway. Hey Brad, congrats on the release. Everyone can't wait to read the rest of the stories. Brad, if you
I
guys
loved
recall,
the
go ahead.
video for Howland.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
so good. So good.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Yes. Yes. He did a werewolf transition video for that live and it was very fun and cool and I loved it.
So good.
Yeah, so anyway, so I just wanted to show both those because they're very cute and I'm very excited about them. And yeah, that's all I had for those. But anyway, so I think for the most part, I think the only other thing I know for sure that we talked about eventually addressing, just because it may come up as a frustration for people later, our our pub is open in the sense that we are working on things within ourselves. So Kat's going to put some stuff through us probably. I obviously anything I do is going to be when we bully Tasha into putting something out, hers will be through the press as well if she'd like. And so anything so we just want to make sure that nobody thinks there's like ill intent. If some stuff we do will absolutely, well, all of my stuff probably will go through the pub. It does not take the place of other people's works. It's just going to be that way because that's the most logical thing when you have authors that run a publishing situation. So let me do these really quick. Just ordered mine, stock to dive in. Congrats. Thank you, Justin. We appreciate it. I remember that video. Yeah, it was so fun. First of all, y'all know I got a soft spot for the werewolf stuff. I was dying. And I never watch the videos that people send for the lives. I don't watch them beforehand. So I didn't even know he was going to do that. I was just as excited and fun and like laughing as you guys were. Oh, hey. very exciting development at Voices. Congrats on the new collection and publishing as well. Thanks so much. Looking forward to recording with you next week for your influential. I can't wait to talk to you. Sorry I didn't get a chance to do a video. Been busy moving. Yes. I saw you posted some
Fantastic.
pictures of the house. It looks amazing. I'm so happy for you guys. Congratulations. That's a great, great, great thing to do that. So I'm excited for y'all. You'll have to let us know if it's haunted. Um anyway, so and then of course the other thing is, like I said, we are not ready to take on anyone else yet. We will continue. We'll
Yeah.
probably maybe I haven't asked my team yet. We will maybe attempt to do one more anthology before the end of the year, but we do have the Butterfly Effect, which I owe Kat. Tasha's done her part, is sitting in my thing, because I've been trying to get stuff ready for this and everything else in my life. And then after that we'll
What's your
have
book
the
called?
kitchen. Yeah. The Butterfly Anthology is gonna be a little baby. It's gonna be like this tiny. Cat might get her way. It might be a 5x8.
Someone also might owe one final invitee story to Tasha.
Yeah.
Somebody
Oh, I
typing a
forgot.
verse
I
might
forgot
Oh,
about
have
that.
one more story to
That's
send.
okay.
You're
Well,
like,
it's good
I
to
owe you stuff,
oh,
and it's like, I still owe Tasha stuff.
oh,
Um, that's
yeah, so
actually a
this
good
is
it's the
Cat's
segue.
easiest
fault. No, I'm
time to
just
do your
kidding.
work.
Yeah, so that one's next in the line of releases. And then that one was a collaboration with Lauren Carter, of course. And then after that, Tasha and I finalized all the decisions and everything for the kitchen, so that'll be the next, project. So we'll see kind of where those fall, and then if we think we can manage it, we'll maybe try to do one more call before the end of the year. We'll see how it goes. Um,
I also just like before we move too far away from the publishing our own stuff, I just want to throw out there for again anyone that's never like started a press or worked at a press. We have been working together for a couple years now,
Several years. Yeah.
but it's very different to like it's been contract work for the most part. Like we haven't done contracts because we're all friends and
Yeah.
lazy, but but it's been like contract work. Like
Yeah.
Angel's reached out to Tasha for editing and me for formatting, and
Yeah.
like we've made collaboration deals and credits and royalty splits and stuff. Those are all like very different things than having contracts and figuring things out in press.
Yeah.
Um our first single author release that we've talked about officially, and I imagine the one after that are going to be in-house releases, but a big part of that is so that we can test the system
Yep.
from the contract stage
Yep.
to the live release stage so that
The
we have everything
promotion,
ironed out
marketing. Yep.
before we even start reading submissions because we want to do
Yes.
this right. There are a
Yeah.
lot of presses that like slap it up on KDP and are like it's done, and we've talked about this so much, and we want to follow the example that Angel has set in publishing alone before we came on into the press,
Yeah.
and just do everything right from the beginning. So
Yeah. Because and you think too, like to your point about us, we've known each other for so long. We've actually technically, if you, I don't know if you guys have thought about this, we have been talking about this opening of the pub for over a year.
yeah,
Like last summer was the first time we had like we sat and talked
Yeah,
and
that
really
totally.
started to like iron out some details and some things. But yeah, I mean, it's we are part of the indie horror community on the writing and reading side, and it's been really
Whoosh.
upsetting, the stuff that we have seen happen with so many different people, so many different presses, and we all feel very strongly about making sure that we do this the right way. That includes finishing getting the LLC. That includes making sure you guys are taking care because I don't do anything. I just hang out. That's all I do. I schedule these things. I make them show up. That's really all I do. Um, and so it's one of those things where it's like we really have to make sure, that we have these ducks in a row so that we can do this right because not just for us, but for anybody that we represent, it's really important to us. Have to head out, only had a second. I really appreciate it, Brad. Thank you for always sending really cool
thank
Brad,
you for
stuff and being
hopping
a part of
in.
things. We really
Thanks for being
appreciate
part
it.
of
Good
the
luck on
anthology.
unpacking. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, because this is and that's pretty much and I guess we can kind of wrap up on that point of, for me, I dabbled in this for the first time. It was me and Tasha. and we did livestock. We had already knew we wanted to do something. We've talked about this before. We were like, we want to do something where we do an anthology and only people who have never had anything published, right, can submit these stories. And then Roe v. Wade got overturned and we pivoted hard into the other side. We were like, all right, so we did this instead. And it was, when I tell y'all, this was a learning curve. If you have never, do y'all know that the original version of Livestock ain't got no page numbers? It has no page numbers. And I'm just like, well, I don't know. So my point in saying that is that was the first experience I had with this, and it was so rewarding and stressful and frustrating and incredible, all in like the same ball. And so being able to work with authors, getting people to come in, like I had a message. I wish I had pulled it up. I wonder if I could find it really fast. Probably not because I'm talking. But I got a message from somebody in relation to the kitchen acceptances when we finished wrapping up those decisions, where they reached out to me and said this was their first acceptance and went on to talk about like what that meant to them. And so those are kind of the things that had happened previously in other anthologies that really pushed this idea of like wanting to do something that could be good for the community, not just something we just want to do for fun. So all of us have prioritized indie creators in general. And I think that it's just very, very important. And I think the community really needs some people they can trust. And so, Kat
Do it.
and what did I do? Are you talking to Journey? I'm like, don't do what?
Don't
Growling
trust
out the
Cat.
window. Like,
Tasha, let me
he's
see your
just been sitting here.
shirt. Is that
Huh?
Ghostface? Let me see your shirt.
It is.
Oh,
Grab some snacks.
I think
I
it
love
was I think it's a Cavity Colors one.
Girl, obsessed. You know they're less than an hour away from me. One day they're gonna message me back and let me tour. One day. Anyway, so I just think it's important. Like that was something I felt like we all really needed and wanted for the community. And so I just wanted to reiterate how important that was. And then I'll let you guys talk about maybe, before we say goodbye or whatever, what it means for you to do something like this. Just says I need that shirt, bro. Me too. Especially if it's from Cavity Colors.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was last summer. I think they put this one out. I had it in
Started
time for
choking.
Halloween last year. I knew that, but
I have some really badass Ghostface shirts, but I want to get the stab one that they had. Was it them or somebody else had a stab one? Fright Rags, maybe. It was like lime green and white and black, of course. Anyway, I digress. Anyway, so Tasha opening a pub, what does that mean for you?
oh god. I mean, kind of
She's
along the lines.
very happy and excited, everyone. Don't let this
Tasha's regretting her life choices. She's like, I have to keep working with these people.
I just, I've had a speech prepared about this for like 6 months now.
pull out your napkin.
Just do me a favor and start playing the music like now and just cut me off. No, it's along the lines of what you said, like the number of presses we have seen take a dive in the last like 3 years has been insane. Whether malicious on their part, just not knowing kind of what the deal was. And all three of us, I feel like, have a tendency to kind of fly by the seat of our pants with things. We're just like, hey, you know what? Let's go. Let's do this. We got this.
I have no idea what you're referring to.
You liar. So yeah, no, I think it's good that we're like, we're taking the time to kind of figure this out. And Kat's been publishing for forever because her rating's amazing. So she's got all the I saw that.
Don't do that.
So
You'll be in timeout.
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to point out that like I came in, Livestock was not my first publication, but it was like in among my first publications for fiction. Like I've not been publishing that much longer than anybody here.
But still, like
it doesn't seem. Is that true?
Yeah, I had like I had a couple of zine submissions, and I think I had like 2 print short stories before that.
Is that
Like
a
it was
hipster
really
for a
early in.
magazine? What is that? What is Z?
Yeah, like online magazines.
Okay,
I have
got it.
like a
I was like,
handful of
what the hell?
those.
Okay, yeah. I actually don't think I realized that. But either way, though, you've got a ton of stuff out there. Ton of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have people ask me about my little revenge art stabby keychain all the time.
I love those fucking
Adorable.
keychains.
I love it. They're so cute.
But yeah.
Um, but yeah, like we all kind of have our own. I mean, I've been published a little bit, but I've never had to handle it from the publishing side of things. Um, and it's definitely a natural transition to be doing the editing for anything you've got going on. So,
Yeah.
either
You've
of
been
you.
doing that.
So it
Yeah.
on one hand, like it feels like very smooth.
Yeah.
And then like Kat said, like it's kind of learning the differences between like our barter systems and like everything that we've done along the
We got
way and just
spreadsheets.
making sure that that's a dirty word. I don't want to hear it.
No, Tasha's like, I
And
wiped this off because you did this. And I'm like, no, you didn't. The number's staying the same. We just argue about these things back and forth all the time.
yeah, we do. It's a
You know.
riot. Um, but yeah, we're definitely trying to make sure that we take our time and do this the
Yeah.
right way and
Yeah.
make it happen. Cap.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Kat? Copy paste? Which one I add?
Uh I have not been working in publishing that much longer, but I have been working in publishing more aggressively, more haphazardly. I've we were talking about there being a lot of like malicious presses and a lot of presses that went under, and we've
Yeah.
lost just like so many stuff. I've worked on the inside of a lot of those presses
I
last
know.
year.
I
I
know.
and it's hard because it's like even the worst ones, I'm not going to name names, this isn't like a call out thing, this is a
No,
celebration,
yeah.
but like
Yeah.
I have worked with two of the most notorious presses now, that recently like went down or restructured, and
Yeah.
it's hard because they started with good intentions. Like
Yeah.
it's always one bad actor, it's always someone in over their head, it's never people like setting out to scam people and be terrible,
Sure.
and it's hard to tell when you sign up for something, and you don't want to be the person that leaves and like everyone's high and dry, and it's like I've been in so many like really toxic publishing situations this last year. I was kind of like, I might not ever work at a press again, this is
Yeah.
terrible. I was losing a lot of hope, but it's so different with Voices because it's one of those things where it's like when I see something that can be a problem, I can say, hey, I'm worried about this being a problem. And even when it is me being paranoid, I felt really heard. And
Yeah.
I've hopefully been able to steer us away from some of like the other really toxic things that happen.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
I have to say, like, I like to think that even if we don't always like what each other has to say, we know that it needs to be said, and we just work through it. I mean, I
Yeah.
value, I say it kind of jokingly, but kind of not. Like, you guys are what make these projects what they are. I can post on social media, I can read the emails, right? I can send the messages, but ultimately, the reason that these projects are so beautiful and they're so great and they're so wonderful and they've had any mild success at all is because of the work that you guys have done in them. And so when I go into this thinking about this this partnership and like I'm just the charm of the group. I feel like it's one of those things where just kidding, that's Journey. Actually Danny has not made an appearance and I'm a little offended.
Danny was like charming me all the way up till record time. She got canned food right before this.
I see.
She was
Okay,
bribed
Danny.
by someone else
I
in the
see.
house, and she's
I see.
like,
Okay,
"Well,
okay. I'll let it slide. Um,
I mean,
but I say
Journey
I
has to make an appearance every time.
He's
yeah,
it's mandatory. Yeah. I say all of that to
Yeah.
say that there's no one else, no other additions, no other people that I would feel comfortable going into this with outside of the two of you because I don't trust anybody else with my own shit, let alone like doing other, projects for eventually other people. And I value so much of y'all's experience and your thought process and your take, even just an example. I mean, Kat's walking me through press things. We've had contract conversations. We've had conversations about all kinds of the back, behind the curtain kind of stuff. When Tasha and I were going through kitchen stories, we talked about, there's one story in particular, and I don't remember the name or anything. It's not really important. But I was like, I need you to talk to me about why you liked this one and why you felt that way, because we got very different things. And I wanted to make sure that her opinion on the stories carried the exact same weight as mine, because these are not my projects. These are not my anthologies, they're ours. And so I hope to always be able to step outside of myself, even if it's maybe something I don't want to hear, and value the information and what the knowledge base that you guys have, because that's why we're doing it, because you have the knowledge base, the experience, the thought process, and so I
Since
value that. Tasha, people are
when did I
people can
when did
chew
I
you
develop
still,
that?
and we do.
I
I
have
think
a
we have,
knowledge base.
bro.
You're the
Yes,
only one of us that can spell.
bro. I don't even
I
listen. I'm
mean,
gonna be honest, Tasha. I like okay. So one of my biggest things, and Tasha may be like, there's more than just this one thing, but one of my biggest things when I'm writing that I am terrible at. Okay, and I was an English major for like a second. I am horrible about my tense, about switching back and
mm,
forth. And I trust Tasha so much, I don't even try to fix it anymore. I just write whatever I want. And I just let
and that's
her fix
seriously
it within reason. But because I just
like
know, like, I can
the biggest
trust.
compliment. Yeah.
Wait, I
Anybody who's willing to just hit accept all is just
We both
like,
do it. I was just gonna
I
say,
was
I
gonna
think Kat,
say, yeah, I
yeah,
say that a lot on like whenever I get to promote your stuff on socials. I'm tired.
Tasha,
I'm
are
drunk.
you got some information on Kat? Are you blackmailing her? What is happening right now? She just outed the situation totally.
I did. No, but it's like it's a thing that I say all the time where it's like I hit accept all, but
I
I
do too.
there's literally no other editor that I've ever worked with, even editors that I like and get along with and am friends with and have worked with multiple times. I still go back through and like we pick the same fights over and over and over again where I'm like, this was intentional. I I
Yeah.
don't like it when things rhyme. Let me have my adverbs. Like I'm there's nobody else that I trust to just like
No.
hit the accept all button because you always see
oh,
what I'm doing, even when it's like out of the box. And,
Yep.
I
I
trust
second
you
that. And
so
and I
implicitly.
and I feel the same way about Kat's formatting. I'm just like, she's like, "Can I I'm like, "Just do whatever you want, Kat. I don't care." Whatever
yeah,
she
run
comes
with
to me and
it.
she's like, "I've got something crazy." I'm literally like, "Bro, just do it. I don't care." And then it's like, or she's like, "Well, I don't know." And she's like like saying like all these things about, "Well, I just don't know, you might not." And it comes out and it's like this most stunning, and I'm like, "What were you worried about?" Like, what were you do whatever you want. I don't care. I have no vision for this. This is totally up to you.
One of my favorite experiences working on this anthology in particular was you
Yeah.
invited me, so there was like not a lot of oversight. And when I sent
Yeah.
the story in, I was like, I formatted it weird. Is that okay? Not realizing that I was the formatter for
For
the
matter.
anthology and it was my problem. And then when I went back in, I was like, oh god damn it, who would let me do this?
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. I didn't even remember that you said that. But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I trust you guys, and I think our friendship is strong enough, and I think we've had a professional relationship for a while now that I think it just makes sense. And we want the same things, and
Professional.
we care. Whatever you want to call it. Listen, y'all, we're trying to sell it here. Tasha's over there talking about like I got a knowledge base. We're trying to get people to trust us, bro. You're over there like, oh well.
I mean, if they
Uh,
don't by now, but you know,
do you know that I just realized saying that you have the same sign? That's what you were saying.
yeah,
I had her make you a creative sanctuary. I'd forgotten about that. So I was like,
you
what
did.
did I get you from her? And then I was just gonna go along with it. I was like, oh yeah, I had no idea what you were talking about. I forgot that I got you one of these. We have to get Cat one
Yeah.
next. They're
I
so
need
cute.
one.
You do. Because they're like, she charges like nothing. And she hand paints these in like 2 hours or something crazy like that. And it's always good, it's solid. They're great.
Yeah.
Watch out.
Did you find it? There we go.
Oh,
That's right. It's
Is that
done
the
in Cat in the Hat. That is not right. What is it? Alice in Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland, right? Yeah, it's Alice. There's like the little drink
little
me
hearts. Oh,
Yeah, it's
bottle.
supposed to be. I was gonna say
It's
Mad
so
Hatter. That's where
cute.
Cat in the Hat came from, I guess. Yeah, it's supposed the
Little
mushrooms.
mushrooms.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
oh, that is so cute.
Mike said, "My
So
favorite
just
thing,
have to
Angel. We are legit and professional. Tasha, we are. Since when? Are you sure? Insert cackle. You gotta love us. At least that's the theory. I don't
You
know.
have to.
You have to.
Tasha's blackmailing people. So
fun.
Oh, anyway. Kat, did you get to finish your thought about doing the pub? I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
oh yeah, it's just it's great to work somewhere where it's like all indie presses have a lot of hurdles and uphill battles, and
Yeah.
it's like there's no amount of preparation that's going to make us perfect, but the amount of effort that goes into like even just setting up this press in comparison to all of the other indie presses that I've worked for is just incredible.
That's reassuring. That's reassuring.
So
Yeah. Now, if I could just win the lottery, we could do all kinds of fun stuff.
You-
Damn money limitations, but
if we ever
yeah,
win the lottery, can we hire the can we hire the archive team to come format for us?
that's who did Revenge
Dude,
Arc.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ, yeah,
poor
that's
Mac
so
and
good.
his people over there, fucking the best. I'm taking their course, and I'm always like, I don't know if I should talk about how many formatting courses I still take as a professional formatter, but it's like, man,
It's
I think
professional growth.
it is.
yeah,
It shows commitment to the projects in the future. So no, I think it's yeah. Um, well, go buy our book. The proceeds go
what's a
to
good
the Lotus
cause?
House. I don't know. I'm bad at segues. I'm tired and I'm hot and I've ran out of drink like halfway through this thing. Anyway,
Oh no.
the worst. Anyway, so this house is not ours. A haunted house charity anthology, covered by Matt Seth Barnes, edited, edited by Tasha, formatted by Kat. Uh, you know, posted by me. I don't know. And so anyway, it goes to a really great cause. If you are interested, I'll say this again. If you're interested in getting copies of the book or a copy of the book not related to Amazon, feel free to either message one of us, email us, whatever, let us know. We do have an email. I have a lot of updating stuff because the website stuff is not updated, but I'll have all of that done hopefully here very soon. And then, but just let us know, and we can kind of build a list. We'll see, and then when we get them, we'll get them sent out. And I'm working on contributor packages, and yeah, that's all I have for this. So I'm really excited to work with you guys in the future. I'm amped that we're finally doing it, even if it's we really took our time getting to this point because we wanted to make sure we were ready. And I think even like you said, Kat, it's not going to be perfect, but I think the intention is there and the effort has definitely been made on all of our parts to make sure that we're heading in the right direction. And so anyway, I'm excited. And did I say go buy our book already? Go buy our book.
Buy the book.
Buy the book. And in case you're wondering, there are how many other ones? Two? Two?
What?
Two.
Uh-oh.
There are two other charity anthologies that we have done in the past as well. We have done horror stories from the unheard, and then Howlin' for You, which was the werewolf one that just came out not that long ago. So check out our anthologies. The charity ones are our little babies.
They are.
And the next will be the Butterfly Effect. God, that cover. I'm so
Still be a
pumped.
good one. It'll be a
Yes.
baby, but it's a good one.
Yes. That's charity one too. So anyway, cool. You guys got any notes you want to add before we wrap up? Say goodbye.
Just that I'm excited to read the other stories. I feel bad because that's usually the first thing I do, but I had to wait for a print edition this time because of screens.
Yeah.
But I am excited. I love so many of the people in here, and I think, I could be wrong, I think all of the people that I don't know and follow already are the new people that have been, like,
Yeah.
published through this anthology for the first time, so
Yeah, and I think
I'm
there's a couple
excited.
of those. So yeah. Kat, have you read this?
Have no.
No.
I read
Okay.
the other one, I think, the other Riley
By
Sager.
Riley?
Like, there's only 2.
There's 2. Yeah.
There's a bunch.
There's a bunch. No, this is a like a big author, right? This isn't like
Yeah.
I don't even know how I got this book. Did you recommend it? I don't know. Anyway,
I didn't.
it was just sitting here, so I had to incorporate it because I have ADHD or ADD. I have one of the 2 Ds. I don't know which one it is. Anyway, so yeah, well, cool. Well, thank you everybody in the chat for hanging out with us. As always, it's
Yeah.
always fun to see everybody and talk to everybody, and always a good time. And yeah, buy our book. I'll be posting about it relentlessly on Voices until Meta gets their shit together, and we can
Come
post
on, Matt.
it on our pub socials versus the Voices. But it's okay. I got followers on that one, so that works. But anyway, uh, cool. Well, thanks everybody for hanging out. Go buy the book. This house is not ours. Really good cause. Women's shelter. Help the kids and the women get back on their feet and headed in a better direction so they can move on with their life and be happy like they deserve to be. That's all I have for this one. So, make sure you're following everybody. I'd love to say follow our pub page, but we've already bitched about that enough. So I did have our cute little
Yeah.
logo put up over there though.
It is
It's
cute.
so cute.
It's so cute. Christy nailed this. So much does she nail this. And I
She
love
did.
it.
I love
Our little characters, they're so cute. Anyway, so all right, cool. Well, thanks everybody for hanging out again. We hope you have a great evening. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see everybody else real soon.